I want to take a few minutes to explain the scoring for Assignment 1. Before I get into that, full disclosure, I feel awkward talking about this at all. First and foremost, because learning is not measured through marks. Marks evaluate a snapshot of what you were thinking at the time you answered a question or wrote your assignment. Could be that before the assignment you had an insightful idea that didn't get included. Perhaps after the assignment you had some deeper reflection that would have been germane to the topic. However, we can only mark what you hand in. Will today's mark mean the difference between losing some windfall or getting it? Will it make the difference between getting a job or failing to get that interview? I have interviewed many different people for all sorts of positions. Marks have value, true, but far more important is the ability to think creatively, to be able to problem solve. More important than any mark is the ability to work independently, to show initiative, to engage in whatever you are doing with a positive attitude. Marks don't really measure attitude or other soft skills, and it's your soft skills that any potential employer wants to know about. Things like how well you get along with others, how well do you work in teams, how well you follow directions. Think about soft skills. Marks are not the only way to define yourself. I just want to encourage you to shift your attitude in this regard. For those of you who are interested, I'll explain the marking in more detail. First and foremost, marks are not lost. You shouldn't be questioning, where did I lose marks? We do not consider the student to start at 100% and then we markers scour the assignment looking to take away points. That's not how it works at all. You're going to be teachers one day. I don't encourage that perspective. That's not inclusive education. Taking away marks sounds like a punishment. We want to model what we believe is the appropriate approach. We are not punishing you. You are not losing marks. By the same token, should you be looking for marks that are not awarded? Trump tried to find ballots that were not counted, insisting they must have been lost. Consider your attitude in this regard. Marks are awarded based on the outlined criteria. Your assignments earn marks. First, we're evaluating your response. We are not awarding marks for your ability to summarize the content of the videos, other readings, the textbook, etc. We are curious to know your response to the material. What ideas come to mind? Did you have an emotional response? What are your feelings about the topic? Did something pique your curiosity? Do you disagree? It's your personal and individual response. The second focus for the markers is whether you addressed all the question requirements fully. The questions have several parts to them. Some questions have them sectioned out in lettered bullets, A, B, C. If you overlook or do not address any parts of the question, then you will not be awarded points for that part. It should make sense that if you answer A and C and not B, then you will not be awarded points for B. Read the questions carefully. The questions can be multifaceted, and some parts of the question may not be separately bulleted. Read carefully to identify all the parts and to prepare your response. Markers will be following a marking guide. The rubric will guide markers in evaluating your work. As your work demonstrates the expectations of the rubric or guide, points will be awarded. So these are the 3 overarching criteria for evaluating your work. If you disagree with your mark, you will need to justify why your mark should be changed. Your arguments must identify where marks were not awarded based on these 3 criteria: your personal response, the fullness of your answers to the questions, and meeting the marking guide rubric. Emails from students saying they are not satisfied with their marks without responding with a fulsome explanation will not be responded to. We can't help you. You must fully identify and justify your arguments to be awarded additional points based on the 3 criteria: your personal response, the fullness of your answers to the questions, and meeting the marking guide rubric. Once your rationale has been submitted, we'll gladly review the assignment. That's fair. In the event your assignment is remarked, your score could increase, it may stay the same, or could decrease. It's possible the remark identifies points that had been awarded in error. If that's the case, they will need to be withdrawn. So consider all possible consequences. Grades are not predetermined. That would be impossible anyway. I don't even know your names, let alone am I able to match a name to a face. So it would be impossible for that kind of bias to affect your grade. I certainly do hope that after this course is completed, that we will have the opportunity to actually meet. But right now, you are unknown to me. So there's no way your grade is predetermined. It's not possible. After all course assessments are completed, we will then have a set of raw scores for each of you. These percentages will be weighted and then summed. Total scores for everyone in the class will be ranked. I, as the instructor, will look at the rankings and determine meaningful groupings or cutoff points to award the letter grades following the university's grading system. The university defines the letter grades in this way. A is excellent, B is good, C plus is satisfactory achievement. A final letter grade will be assigned according to the scale shown on this slide. The actual conversion of the percentages to a letter grade is done by the computer. With a click of a button, the formula will spit out the results. But the final decision rests with us. The TAs and I will meet to look carefully at the grades awarded and discuss possible changes. We will ensure that everyone is getting the grade they have earned. There could be incongruencies that need to be addressed. I want to emphasize grades are not determined ahead of time. The grading process is outlined in the syllabus. Remember, we determine your final grade, not the computer, not eClass, not some third party. The decision makers are me and the 2 teaching assistants. So if you do want to appeal your mark, the first step is to reach out to your teaching assistants, either Anna or Sandra. Reach out to them first. Provide them with your arguments. If you are not satisfied with that outcome, then you can email me. Do not email me first. Here is their contact information. Reach out to them first. Thank you.